Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Chapter 162 is out, and this was an unexpected chapter, because not only do we get a bit more of what Ignia is planning to do for the True Dragon Kings Festival, we get a bit of a conclusion-ish thing with Urza's fight with Wed, the main group meets up, and Natsu and Ignia get an unexpected visitor, and my god, was that very unexpected, but I'm right here for it because it makes some very big implications for the future of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest and for how the series might end up ending and progressing. But before I jump into this insane chapter, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and ensures you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. And once more, the Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest anime comes out July 7th, so be hyped for that. I got some themed videos based around 100 Years Quest coming out involving stuff that happens in the anime, and maybe, I can't promise anything, I might make videos or shorts on the episodes as they release. Don't hold me to that, it depends on my time and if I'm actually able to do it. But just want to throw out the possibility and see if you guys would actually like me to do that. But anyway, on to the chapter. So chapter 162 of 100 Years Quest, titled Reunion? So we start directly from last week where Natsu punched Ignia in the face with a flaming fist, but Ignia did not feel too bothered by it. He didn't even have an actual reaction or try to block it this time. The attack didn't do anything. As the smoke dissipates, the members of Fire and Flame present are in shock at what Natsu did, as Natsu asks, "You really Igniel's kid?" And he states that Igniel loved humans. Ignia laughs a bit, blasts Natsu away with a fireball without even getting up from his seat, stating, "My dad's my dad, and I'm me." Literally stating, my dad might have liked humans, but I don't. Just because he does, I don't have to like humans either. Natsu asks what the flames that Ignia has on him, as it seems they might have actually hurt and maybe slightly burnt Natsu. Ignia goes on to state that all the humans here are prepared to go to the dragon world, and Natsu is confused by this, as Ignia says, "I told you, remember? The True Dragon King Festival," as we get a nice menacing look of Ignia, and behind him a bunch of silhouettes of different dragons right behind him. Based on his wording, either there's an entirely different dimension where there's just dragons, or my interpretation of it, the people here in Fire and Flame, Ignia might end up trying to, in terms of their loyalty, might also end up making them dragons themselves, because if we look into this, there is quite literally 7 dragons right here, and there are 7 members of Fire and Flame. So, we might get 7 dragons based off of them, or the Signario Sisters might merge into one, and there might be one member of Fire and Flame that has yet to be revealed in this whole guild. So, there's still a lot to be announced, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ignia got these strong fire users to essentially make them into powerful dragons to enact the Dragon King's Festival, and make this his own way of bringing back the dragons to Earthland, which would be incredibly big, considering that most of the dragons are extinct, and there don't seem to be any left really on Giltina anymore, most likely thanks to Diablos, but still, that is a big thing. If Ignia brings back the dragons, it will shift a huge power dynamic in the world of Fairy Tail. Yes, wizards are relatively stronger, but there aren't a lot of dragon slayers, or people on the level that could actually do anything to dragons, so they'd have to rely on like stuff like Wendy and Urza's Dragon Slayer enchantments, which that's a whole other thing. But still, that is a very interesting way to go about things, and if he does go through this, he'll have an army of dragons that not only have their own fire-based powers, but they might also have their own individual abilities as well, so that's very big and interesting. As Ignia says, this is the True Dragon King Festival, a festival of humans and dragons, and as Natsu is obviously angry at this, a spark flashes in the ceiling, catching Natsu's attention, as a black pillar of light appears on the ground, as this blows back Natsu a bit and surprises Ignia. As somebody in this pillar states, a festival of humans and dragons, that's not quite right. As Ignia and Natsu don't know what's going on right now, we then cut back to Urza and Wed as their fight was stopped thanks to misfortune coming around, as Urza is reacting to the news of the True Dragon King Festival that Wed had just told her about. As Wed states, "Once that starts, I won't be able to settle things with you." As misfortune tells Weddy not to tell her too much, as they then realize and sense the black pillar of light that appears in the Fire God's castle, as misfortune states that it started, wait, no, this is something else, this isn't the True Dragon King's Festival, and that something's happening at the Fire God's castle. As Wed wonders what that is, misfortune says that they have to get back now. Meanwhile, Gray, Lucy, Wendy, Happy, and Carla meet up with Urza at the destroyed port. And right as everybody meets up, Happy locks eyes with Misfortune and instantly falls in love. So that brings the love interest count for Happy to 3 now. We got Carla, we now have Misfortune, and we previously had the XC Toka. So yeah, and also Happy gives her a fish as a whole big go-to gift that he usually does for people that he likes and girls that he has begun to crush on, as Misfortune actually does kind of take it and finds it kind of cute, as Wed calls Misfortune by her name, and very astute observation from Lucy stating that Misfortune is the opposite of Happy. Now, I know what they're trying to do with making it seem like Misfortune is just Ignia's egg seed companion to further drive home a parallel to Natsu, but it's kind of a meh type realization. It's funny, but I wouldn't call it too big of a joke. But Wed laments that they have to return, and tells the Urza that they'll meet again if fate allows them to. As they begin to leave, Gray points out that there's a light coming from the Fire God's castle, and they wonder what it is. But Lucy instantly recognizes it as black magic. So yeah, I think Lucy, of all people, can really pinpoint this and sense this more due to the fact that she rewrote the book of END directly, and that was made with black magic, with Zeref's black magic, so she would most likely be able to sense this a lot more than everybody else and fully distinguish it. But back at the Fire God's castle, where the black magic is towering out of this entire castle, we cut back to the room where Natsu and Ignia are as they're staring at this black pillar, with the rest of Fire and Flame in shock as well as to what's going on. As Ignia asks who this person is, as we start to get a silhouette from this black pillar, stating, "There was a battle in Ishgar a year ago known as the Dragon King Festival, a battle between humans, Acnologia, and a black wizard," obviously referring to the Alvarez arc. This person then calls out to Ignia, as he is the Fire Dragon God, stating, "You're missing something. For the Dragon King Festival, you'll need a black wizard," as the pillar of dark magic disappears, as out from the smoke, this brand new person comes walking out. In shock of Ignia and Natsu, we get a full 2-page spread introducing this brand new character, as she introduces herself as the Black Wizard Faris, and stating that she will be joining this battle now. First off, love the design. Really cool design, really nice nun design, and giving off the image that she's here and she's here to wreck some shit. Also, for those of you who don't remember, because this was like a couple of years ago, Faris is actually the girl that was introduced to us at the start of 100 Years Quest, who was Toka. She and the XC Toka were basically forced into a fused body, essentially, to share a body, and Faris was that character's actual name, and she was from Alentar. So this isn't the same person. This is most likely her Earthland counterpart, similar to how Edelus and Earthland have counterparts of characters we all know, and they're relatively different. This version of Faris seems to be relatively evil and is a black wizard for some reason. How she gained these abilities and why she's referring to herself as the Black Wizard is still up in the air, but I do have a video planned that I will release talking about this, because this is a big development. But Natsu does recognize Faris and is obviously confused at what's going on. But Ignia is even more shocked and confused, because what he says next is incredibly disturbing and very hype. He states, "She feels like Acnologia," with the final panel being Faris just looking menacingly towards Ignia and Natsu, ending the chapter. Oh boy, that was huge, that was big, that was something I was not expecting for 100 Years Quest in the slightest. And honestly, all too good. I did not expect us to get a new Black Wizard, as I thought this was Zeref's title alone. That Zeref would be the Black Wizard, and for 100 Years Quest we had the White Mage, the White Wizard for a little bit. But no, we got somebody new. And I think this might be Mashima's way of giving us what we didn't get in the Alvarez arc. A battle between, basically, the King of the Dragons, Zeref and Natsu, in a sense. Or humanity against Zeref and Acnologia. But here, we have Ignia being replaced for Acnologia, since he is right now the strongest dragon right now. And we have Faris, the Black Wizard, who is going to stand in for Zeref as the Black Wizard, but she seems to feel like Acnologia, so she might have his magical power within her in some way, shape, or form. And we got Natsu and the rest of humanity. So this is a big thing. I have no idea how this is going to play out, but based on what she tells us about who she is, how she has her power, why she's considering herself the Black Wizard, why she can use black magic, there's a whole lot of questions that need to be answered. But this is probably one of the most hyped chapters of 100 Years Quest. Mashima is definitely planning something huge with not just his Ignia arc, but for the rest of 100 Years Quest. He's not only postponing the one-on-one clash between Ignia and Natsu for the time being, and introducing a brand new character as Faris, the Black Wizard, to potentially deliver on a promise that we didn't really get in Alvarez with this big three-way fight. But either way, I'm just super excited. Mashima is cooking with 100 Years Quest right now, and I hope this keeps up for future chapters. But enough about this, because I will do a video on Faris next week, because look forward to that. That'll be big. But what do you guys think of this chapter? How do you feel about my predictions on what the True Dragon Kings Festival is? How do you feel about the revelation that Faris showed up and is a brand new character, a new Black Wizard, and why she could potentially feel like Agdalogia to Ignia? Your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. Man, I cannot wait for future 100 Years Quest chapters and the anime coming back. It just feels like a great time to be a fairy tale fan.